In 1685, Japan's fifth shogun issued a law. Killing a dog was now punishable by death. Not exile. Not a fine. Death. The law would last 25 years, expand to cover every living creature in the country, and fill Edo with over 100,000 stray dogs the government had to feed with public money. This is the story of Tokugawa Tsunayoshi and the Japan he accidentally created. Tsunayoshi was different from the shoguns before him. He wasn't a warrior. He was a scholar. He held lectures on Confucian ethics. He wrote poetry. He personally supervised temple ceremonies. The samurai class considered him soft. They weren't entirely wrong. But Tsunayoshi had a problem that had nothing to do with swords. He had no heir. His only son had died in childhood, and by the 1680s, it was becoming clear he might never have another. A Buddhist monk offered an explanation. In a past life, Tsunayoshi had killed too many living creatures. The solution, the monk said, was to protect them in this one. Tsunayoshi was born in the year of the dog. The monk suggested he start there. Tsunayoshi believed him. In 1685, the first edict came down. Dogs were to be treated with respect. Injuring a dog was a crime. Killing one capital punishment. But that was just the beginning. Over the next decade, Tsunayoshi issued hundreds of additional edicts. Cats, birds, fish, insects, abandoning a horse illegal, catching shrimp regulated, releasing a hawk from captivity criminal offense. A man was reportedly exiled for killing a mosquito in front of a government official. Another arrested for swatting a fly. Whether those specific cases are accurate is debated. But the fact that people believed them and repeated them tells you what life felt like under the law. The edicts became known as the生類憐みの令. The Edicts on Compassion for Living Things. Tsunayoshi became known by a different name. Inukubo. The dog shogun. Here is the problem with legally protecting every dog in a city of 1 million people. There are a lot of dogs. Edo's stray population had always been large. But under the edicts, it exploded. You could not drive them away. You could not trap them. You certainly could not kill them. Dogs bit people. Dogs destroyed property. Dogs died of disease in the streets and could not be removed quickly enough. The city smelled. The city was loud. The city was being slowly taken over by an animal no one was allowed to touch. Estimates of Edo's stray dog population during this period range from 50,000 to over 100,000. The government needed a solution. So they built one. In 1695, Tsunayoshi ordered the construction of large dog compounds on the outskirts of the city. At peak capacity, these compounds housed over 80,000 dogs. Staff were employed to feed them, clean up after them, and keep records of them. The cost was staggering, funded entirely by taxes levied on Edo's already struggling population. The citizens of Edo were paying, with their own money, to house dogs that were biting them. And they were not allowed to say so. Not publicly. Not legally. Complaining about the dog shogun's laws was its own kind of offense. Tsunayoshi died in January 1709. He was 63 years old. He never had an heir. The monk's cure had not worked. His successor was announced within days. And on the day after Tsunayoshi's funeral, the new administration made its first official act. The Edicts on Compassion for Living Things were abolished. All of them. Immediately. 25 years of law. Gone in 24 hours. The dog compounds were closed. The animals dispersed. The staff sent home. Edo exhaled. Here is what complicates the story. Historians who look past the dogs find a more complicated legacy. Crime rates during Tsunayoshi's reign were relatively low. The arts flourished: kabuki theater, woodblock printing, haiku. Much of what we think of as classical Edo culture developed under his rule. The economy was functional until the cost of the dog compounds began to distort it. Tsunayoshi was mocked during his lifetime. He has been mocked ever since. But the edicts were not random cruelty or pure vanity. He genuinely believed they were necessary. He believed the welfare of the animals around him was connected to the welfare of his bloodline. He was wrong about the mechanism. But for 25 years, he governed an empire in which every dog, cat, bird, and fish had legal standing. It cost the population enormously. It solved nothing for Tsunayoshi personally. But somewhere in Edo, for 25 years, the strays ate well. And no one was allowed to stop them.